much for being here today. So in the past week, we did shlokas 21 to 25, and actually in the last two shlokas, Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that a person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute, and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. Then in the verse 25, that was the last verse that we did last week, Lord continues to explain that some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some other they offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman. Now today we are going to cover the verse 26, and the Lord continues to explain about the different other kinds of yajnas. For that, I would recite thrice as usual this shloka, and the fourth time you all will join me, please. So, Shrotra-dinindriyanyanye samyagnishu juhvati shabdadin vishayananya indriyagnishu juhvati Shrotra-dinindriyanyanye Sanyamagnishu juhvati Shabdadin vishayananya Indriyagnishu juhvati Shrotra-dinindriyanyanye Sanyamagnishu juhvati Shabdadin vishayananya Indriyagnishu juhvati. Please recite after me. Shrotra-dinindriyanyanye Sanyamagnishu juhvati Shabdadin vishayananya Indriyagnishu juhvati Shrotra-dinindriyanyanye Sanyamagnishu juhvati Shabdadin vishayananya Indriyagnishu juhvati. So the word meanings and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shrotra-dini, such as the hearing process, Indriyani, senses, Anye, others, Samyama, of restraint, Agnishu, in the fires, Juvati, offer, Shabdadin, sound vibration, Vishayan,
Vishayan,
objects of sense gratification,
objects of sense
of sense
gratification,
gratification,
Anye,
Anye,
others,
others,
Indriya,
Indriya,
of the sense organs,
of
of
the
the sense organ,
Agnishu,
Agnishu,
in the fire,
in the fire,
Juvati,
Juvati,
they sacrifice.
they sacrifice.
Now the translation. Some of the unadulterated brahmacharis
Some of the unadulterated brahmachari
sacrifice the hearing process
sacrifice
the
the
hearing
process
process
and the senses
and the senses
in the fire of mental control,
in the
the fire
fire of
of
mental
control,
control,
and others,
and others,
the regulated householders,
the regulated
regulated
household
householders,
sacrifice the objects
sacrifice
sacrifice the
of the
objects
senses
of
of
the
the senses
senses
in the fire of the senses.
in
in
the
the
fire
fire
of
of
the
the senses.
senses.
So Srila Prabhupada
He
explains. Can you please mute yourself, devotees? Thank you. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains this as the members of the 4 divisions of human life, namely the brahmachari, the grihastha, the vanaprastha, and the sannyasis, are all meant to become perfect yogis or transcendentalists. Since human life is not meant for our enjoying sense gratification like the animals, the 4 orders of the human life are so arranged that one may become perfect in spiritual life. The brahmacharis or the students under the care of a bona fide spiritual master control the mind by abstaining from sense gratification. A brahmachari hears only words concerning Krishna consciousness, concerning Krishna and Krishna consciousness. Hearing is the basic principle for understanding, and therefore the pure brahmachari engages fully in Hare Namam Kirtanam, chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. He restrains himself from the vibrations of material sounds, and his hearing is engaged in the transcendental sound vibration of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Similarly, the householders who have some license for sense gratification perform such acts with great restraint. Sex life, intoxication, and meat eating are general tendencies of human society, but a regulated householder does not indulge in unrestricted sex life and other sense gratification. Marriage on the principles of religious life is therefore current in all civilized human society because that is the way for restricted sex life. This restricted, unattached sex life is also a kind of yajna because the restricted householder sacrifices his general tendency towards sense gratification for higher transcendental life. In brief, 2 more practical yajnas are highlighted in this shloka by Sri Krishna. In the first yajna, we use our discrimination to limit the activities of our senses. Symbolically, one would say it is all about self-control, which is like the fire to which the senses are offered. The world comprises both good and bad influences. Our senses are exposed to thousands of such influences each day. If we keep senses open all the time without proper discrimination, so many negative influences would enter that it would take a lifetime to clean them up. Therefore, in this yajna, we exercise our discretion over what we see, eat, and hear every day. Such withdrawal of energy from the senses is called pratyahara, and it is one of the 4 limbs of the yoga, of the tradition of Patanjali Yoga. The first three being yama, which is restraint. The second one is niyama, which is positive restraint. And the third one is asana, which is steadying the body. And about this, we will be going to learn more in the verses to follow. So the second yagna is more a sophisticated version of the first yagna. Instead of offering the senses to the fire of self-restraint, the objects themselves or the notion of object is sacrificed. We had come across, the acharyas give the example of, a gold jeweler who is only interested in the weight of the jewelry, regardless of how beautiful the ornament is. Similarly, advanced yogis sacrifice the notion that they are living in the world of objects. They recognize that objects are nothing but configurations of the same three cosmic forces like sattva, rajas, and tamas. And like a jeweler, they melt the object so that it no longer draws their self outward. Thank you. And now we shall practice reciting the shloka. We can practice twice together, and then Prabhuji